Welcome everyone to another podcast episode. My name is Unharm. I'm here with my co-host Unfit. We are both the Unharm and Unfit podcast. I hope you're all here.
Hello.
That's right, I'm taking over. Today we have a lot on our minds that we want to take off. And we are we are recording this right after the next topic, the first topic that we want to talk about. You will all understand. You will all be like, "Oh yeah, that did happen a couple of weeks ago," but it did happen.
Yep.
And anything do you want to add before we start, Unfit?
I think the only thing I want to add that I kind of just listened from this like a few weeks ago from a video from Eggcall40, if you know who that is in the Yu-Gi-Oh community.
I've seen the name.
So yeah, I just seen it from one of his videos. It doesn't really add anything. It just from him I know about this.
So today we are going to be a little bit thematic about what we're going to be talking about. And our theme is the sins of TCGs. And believe me, there are a lot of sins. And the first sin is greed.
There are a lot of them.
And greed is, at the moment, a thing that's very prevalent in the Wizards of the Coast's TCG, the very famous first one that everyone is very well versed with, Magic the Gathering. Now, Unfit, do you know what I'm talking about?
I heard, I'm not sure I'm 100% understand, but I think I heard at the very least.
So I'm going to give you a little bit of a background to teach you and our listeners who haven't been keeping up with this. This has been cycling in a little bit of the news, but I'm going to give a little bit of my take. What happened was Wizards of the Coast were looking, Hasbro, who owns Wizards of the Coast, I think, were looking at a bit of a, a little bit of a downfall from their stocks because they weren't making as much money. And money is important, don't get me wrong. We all do what we do for money, but
Absolutely.
there's a limit. And what they were doing, they were looking at their utility, Magic the Gathering, and they were like, how can we make out of this more money?
Make more money.
Money. The money. I need more money. Yeah, we enjoy our own jokes. So what they were doing was like, oh, they're having a 30-year anniversary. That's amazing. How can we milk this?
How about we'll make more money?
And they were making a first edition reprint, but it's not a reprint. It's a proxy reprint, meaning that these cards are not tournament legal. Now, that would be fine, Everybody enjoys a good proxy, especially a high-quality proxy. I use proxies. Unfit, do you use proxies from time to time?
Yeah, not really need them most of the time because mostly in editing I also when I'm playing, of course, but when I'm editing, I just don't really need that. I'm just putting over the image.
Yeah,
it's not really necessary.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes, a lot of times, I can't afford a lot of the new cards. So what I end up doing is printing them at home. Taking
like the meme says, this is let's take a popular Pokemon. This is Arceus at home.
It really is. It really do be like that because for me, just printing it at home costs me 5 cents. Buying the cards, from retailers to ship them and bring them and everything is going to cost me over $200, and I don't have $200. And I don't have $200 for gimmick cards. You know what I mean? Like, cards are good now, but in 3 or 4 months they're just going to be okay.
Yeah, especially with power creep.
Yes.
It's always happening in this game.
Absolutely. Pokemon is sinful when it comes to power creep, but Yu-Gi-Oh is even worse. But that's just the nature of the game. No, so what they were doing was they were reprinting cards that were worth hundreds of thousands, in some cases millions of dollars, like Black Lotus and many others. Black Lotus is the big one that everybody talks about because there's a guy on eBay selling it for $1 million. I'm not even kidding. Like a first edition, whatever. So they're selling proxies of the first edition of Wizards of the Coast for, guess how much?
How much?
They're selling it in bundles, right? Each bundle has in it 4 packs. Guess how much a bundle costs? Remember, these are proxies.
I heard this a little bit, so it could cost over $1,000.
Exactly, $1,000 for 4 packs. $1,000 for 4 packs. Not $1,000 for, a booster box. Not $1,000 for one of each. No. $1,000 for 4 packs of proxies. Like, you gotta ask yourself, who is the target audience? That is a little bit overgreed. Like, if you were selling them, let's say, each one for $10, I'd still be like, they're proxies, but you know what? It's worth it.
They're older proxies that people like.
Yeah, for $10, I'd be iffy about it. I'd be like, maybe not. Okay, 4 for 40. Okay, yeah, I can justify that because that's a sweet deal. And they would have been raking in the money. They would have seen people buying it. I would have bought one and kept it in the closet just, for myself. You know what I mean?
Because that price value.
Yeah, but $1,000, nobody's buying it for $1,000. And you know what's the worst part? That's not even the worst part. The worst part is they weren't selling them to stores. They were selling it online. Meaning, if you're a store owner, and store owners are at the moment the people who are keeping the Magic game alive, because nobody online is keeping the game alive. You know what I mean? Like, sure. People are watching it, but most of the people who are watching it are not participating. Are not actively participating.
Magic is it's a pretty interesting game, but it's like, I don't know. I don't really participate in it. Not that I even watch it, but I know people who watch it. Most people don't even partake in it.
Yes, they don't buy it. They don't buy the stuff. So here's a difference. Here's actually something that I'd like to say.
I do think that pretty soon will happen, just to throw it out there, that Pokemon will take over as number 1 and Yu-Gi-Oh will go in number 2 if Magic will continue this way. Basically,
I absolutely agree with this, and there's a reason why we're both saying this, and we're not just I'm not loving Pokemon because I think Pokemon is very sinful in its own ways and it has its own problems. And Yu-Gi-Oh is very sinful in its own way and has its problems, but none of those problems are greed. Well, in Yu-Gi-Oh it's a pot of greed, but we're not gonna go there.
Okay, Konami right now, like, people would say, oh, Konami company, greedy Konami. Like, don't get me wrong.
They're greedy.
I will tell you what I think a little bit later, but they're a lot better than Magic. And a lot of people think, like, oh, Yu-Gi-Oh, Konami is so greedy. Konami is, in the TCG, also, like, I'm not defending them. I still think they have a lot of problems. But they're now a lot better than they were 10 years ago. But now they're kind of regressing back, which we'll talk about that in a second, but it's not really as bad.
I just want to say one thing.
Anyway, go on.
I just want to say one thing before we go on. Recently, I've actually been loving Yu-Gi-Oh! As a game, but continuing...
Really?
I'll tell you about it.
Master Duel or TCG? Because if it's TCG, I don't know what you're even thinking.
Master Duel.
Okay, Master Duel, that's fine.
I'll explain to you what I mean. What I mean by that. But the
Dumpster fire.
Going back to talking about Magic the Gathering, and this is a very important thing. Do you know how many sets they release a year?
What?
Magic? Yeah.
A lot, I think, right?
They released like 15 sets this year.
Yeah, I know that they release a lot.
And
all the time, like,
nobody has the money for it.
Sponsored by... Yeah, that's sponsored by Magic the Gathering, that every single time just giving you a different kind of an expansion that, like, this video is sponsored by Wizard of the Coast, or whatever.
Instead of using the money to make better products and releasing them in a much in a much simpler fashion, people would be hype. If the price was right, they would be rolling off the shelves. But nobody touches Magic the Gathering. Nobody touches Magic. Here's something that actually I'd like to say. For the past 15 years since I've been, active in Magic in card games, every time I went to a card store, the one thing you always see the shelves stocked with is Magic the Gathering. You know what you don't see? You don't see the
Yu-Gi-Oh.
You don't see Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon. Those two are.
God, it's always like this for us. Like I always
No. It's not just for us. It's everywhere.
No. I'm just going to say this, like for us and like our stores and like trying to go. Is the new Yu-Gi-Oh product that arrived? Is like sometimes if I'm really on the day, I get it. But I remember when there was a set called Legendary Kaiba Collection or whatever that was. I was trying to get 3 boxes just because I wanted to get 3 copies of everything, something specific there. And then there was like, I was only able to buy 2 because they were just the last ones. They ordered like over 100s.
Oh,
and they only had like 2 left for me.
Oh, with Pokemon, it's worse. Pokemon is worse.
And I also went specifically for that to then go back to one of the countries, one of our cities in the north, to then go back to where I kind of like lived in my dorm because it's just such an impactful set during that time.
That's nice that you were able to buy booster boxes. Fun fact, in Pokemon, unless they like overstock, which is like they only overstock maybe in April, like once a year in April they overstock, but other than that you can only buy them in singles, like single packs, and they're $7 to $8 a pack. Do you know how crazy that is? That's crazy. I can't afford that. I sometimes, you know, there was once a locals, something similar to a locals here, that I went and I won the entire thing. And you know how much it cost and what I got? It cost over $40 and I got 10 packs. Mind you, this is a tournament.
God damn. Also, just to let you know, and always in our country, which our currency is a little bit different, we're not using dollars. It's always for us, I always seen like Magic products in the 4 digits, okay? Not 3 digits. I mean, for the US, it will be 3 digits, but for us, 4 digits. I always seen like kind of a product sitting there and it's like 4
That's
digits.
equal to $300 and above.
Yep.
And
living in this country is already expensive. Why do we need to just whatever?
Taxes, anyway. Man, taxes. Like Abraham Lincoln once said, if there are 2 things in life that are certain, the internet and taxes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, so like I'm just talking.
People like their shiny cardboard stuff.
People love their shiny cardboard stuff, and the problem with Magic is another big problem is there are more people who watch it these days than actively participate in its like newer forms. Like nobody buys all the new stuff. Everybody buys all the old stuff because the new stuff is overpriced and the old stuff is also overpriced. But at least, you know, it's not power crept to death.
It's forever, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're playing like old formats.
Old formats are doing well.
Like Commando.
I was not Commando. Commander.
Commander.
I used to play Commander for a little bit.
Commander is basically just Singleton, right?
Yeah. Singleton is amazing.
I think these kind of formats are fun. Because they're just like...
Singleton formats are very linear. They really are very linear. But
they're fun. I don't know.
You know your matchups. You know your matchups, and the best thing about your matchups being linear is that sometimes, all the time, there's going to be someone who puts in like this extra card that you don't know. Card. Yeah, this tech card that you're not prepared for, and it ruins your strat completely.
The entire strategy, which is hilarious.
Like, is there a singleton in Yu-Gi-Oh? That's something I never looked into.
Nope.
Would a singleton work?
I wish there was, but nope, there is not. Unfortunately.
Yeah, you know, man, it's
a shame.
It's a shame. You know, it's a real shame that all these formats that come out, they have so much to offer the regular player, and people don't do enough. People don't People don't give the right prices. Like, if packs in Magic cost, you know, what if packs in Magic cost, let's say not $15, let's say they cost $4 to $5, but they had in them, let's say, 10 plus cards, people would be buying them through the roof. And if they had something that Pokemon still does to this day that I think Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic should be doing, it's something that's a sin that Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh aren't doing, is the code cards. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, code cards that you're getting a pack in the game or something of that
Yes, yes. That for each pack that you buy, you get a online pack. It's not the same pack, but it is a pack.
It's basically giving you another free resource in a way.
What this does,
Kind of.
what it does is it gives you a reason to buy packs, because you feel like you're getting double the amount, and it's two,
The value.
double the value, and two, it's keeping you playing online. That's how you're keeping people
Exactly.
interested, also IRL and also online. And
It's also keep them very happy.
it keeps them very happy, and it creates a secondary market for code cards that keeps people online talking about it, and you're actually getting something done. Like, I can tell you right now, in Pokemon, on the YouTube scene, people are getting sponsored by stores for code cards all the time, because it keeps the game alive online. You know what I mean?
Pretty cool, yeah.
Like, if they did something like this for Master Duels, where for each pack that you bought, it came with a code card that you can redeem on Master Duels, and you would get a pack for it that would turn into dust, or whatever. How much would they sell?
I'm pretty sure they will be in a lot better position, honestly. Master Duel is unfortunately not doing that hot right now. It's not like terrible, but it's not amazing either.
Yeah, no. So, like I was saying before,
Like it's a lot better than it used to be. Don't get me wrong, because it used to be like
bad.
really not that good.
Yeah.
Like a few months ago, but it's coming back. But it's like it's not like the same as it used to be, because people are just like, there's nothing to do in there. Like, there are new update contents, and it's a lot better than it's like felt. But like, I'm looking at the updates, and it's just like, let's compare something like Hearthstone, okay? Because I just want to go for something like give updates like Hearthstone or Legend
Speaking of Hearthstone, wait. Speaking of Hearthstone, you want to talk about it?
I want to talk about it a little bit later. But
No. I'm going. Wait. Before we continue, I'm going to self-report.
Okay.
I'm going to not self-report. I'm going to report on Unfit here. You know what his status is on Discord right now?
Okay.
Playing
I don't
Hearthstone.
I mean, it keeps me relaxed, trust me. It's just, I don't know, there's something about this card game, even though there was a lot of problems with Blizzard, I get it.
No,
But
I know what you mean. I know
The
what you mean.
developers are not to blame, and the game is just really fun, honestly.
No.
The developers are not to blame for the company's greed.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I just wanted to say that you're all the time playing Hearthstone. That's like your permanent.
It's super fun for me. What do you want from me?
Yeah, anyways, go back to talking about Yu-Gi-Oh!
Okay, so Yu-Gi-Oh! Is in a weird position for me right now. And I know that there are some people who just like think like, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Is fun and everything right now, but it's like, right now, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is more fun for the competitive players, basically. The competitive players having a blast right now. Why? Because the competitive players are not dealing with the thing that is called money issue, because they're just spending on decks anyway, and they don't really care about it that much. But most players just don't really care about Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now, or just not really happy with it, because there's some particular thing that they kind of like did recently, which I get it, but I also absolutely hate it. And that is like how the new format is kind of like working, because it's just based around something very, very specific. That is kind of like, basically the format was not amazing, but wasn't really bad like a few months ago. But ever since, I want to say mid-October, it just, for me, it was gone just down spiral, like terribly down spiral. Because it started with a thing called Darkwing Blast, which is a great set, don't get me wrong. I think Darkwing Blast is a great set, it added some really cool things to the game. But the problem is that what's starting to happen during that set, or just in general, is the problem that Konami doing this annoying thing that I hate when they do, which is just trying to kind of like create like, new cards that are super powerful right now. And like, don't get me wrong, I love it when they make super powerful cards and it's cool and everything, and they're making like old cool cards cost less. But the problem is right now is that everything that I want to play right now is just super expensive. It's really not fun. Like, everything like you want to play is just expensive. Like, if you want to play something, I don't know, let's give you a pretty interesting idea of a deck. Let's say, I'm trying to think of a good example.
Synchros? Junk synchros?
No, synchros are fine, but I'm talking about like in general. Like, there are some weird things right now. Let's just say that it's like the game is just in a weird position for me. There's like there is particular card that like okay. In Darkwind Blast, just to kind of like generalize my thought, there's few cards that came out that are absolutely kind of like became unfortunately a necessity, and that's what I hate when cards become such a necessity that even a super rare card costs over $20, and you guaranteed a super rare in a pack. $20.
That's doable.
And you guaranteed a no, and you need 3 of these, and they're guaranteed in a pack. Okay, super rares are guaranteed in a pack. Then you have a particular card that I think is so stupid because it's now in February is going to just ruin the game, which is I mean, its entire archetype is just going to ruin the game in my opinion if it's already not kind of ruined. But there is also like this particular kind of like anime support they created called Ishizu cards. You know who Ishizu is, right?
Not really.
In the show, you don't know Ishizu? I'm going to tell you what my Millennium Necklace says.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
Girl.
Okay, I think
it's a girl. Marek's sister.
Yeah. No, I knew that was Marek's sister. Yeah.
So she got new support kind of for her Gravekeeper / trap based things. And her support is just works on milling, and as I told you, or if you don't know, Yu-Gi-Oh's one of its most annoying mechanics, also kind of fun but still very annoying, is that it's basically used the graveyard as a second hand, right?
Yeah.
And because it's used the graveyard as a second hand, it just becomes so impossible to play with because it
ends when it ends by turn 2.
Yeah, it's basically like you dump so many cards to the graveyard, you ruin your opponent's deck and everything, and just like why? It's not fun. Just no. Let's just say that it's no. For me, it just comes like as a no. I don't really care about this. It's just terrible.
Yeah, if only there was a card.
I just don't like this format.
If only there was a card that they would print that would negate monsters having multiple effects. They can only use one effect.
There are some things like that, but they're like not really popular enough. I don't know how to explain that to you.
No, not like Mystic Mind. Oh my god, Mystic Mind. Oh my god, that card is so broken.
Finally got banned. Oh my god.
It's a bit too late for it to get banned.
I know, but it's finally got banned. Why is it took over 2 years? This card was banned in a TCG in over like OCG, sorry, over like few years ago. Okay, like not few years ago, but like let's say a year ago.
Fairly quickly. That's quick enough.
I wouldn't say fairly quickly, but not too like it wasn't slow. Like it was banned in the end. In the a lot faster than for us. Yeah. The OCG just banned the card.
Good.
Like I said, not really that quickly, but quickly enough. Like it was, I think, a year in the game when it became a problem, like an actual problem, and then they just ban it. And then for us, it took like I guess like a year and a half more. It just. Why?
Nobody wants to play with Mystic Mine, yeah.
Mystic Mine is such a terribly designed card, and I don't really understand why people...
I don't think that it's a terribly designed card. I think it's a terribly designed card in a format that's terribly designed. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. When I say a format, I don't necessarily mean the format, I mean the rules of... I mean the stupid rules of field spells being, you know, on each side of the field and not like one field.
Yeah, that's what I said like ages ago, like to people. It's just like the fact that like field spells are still in this position,
it's
which
stupid.
you just put one in it's just stupid. Like I understand that it's like cool and everything, and some people think it's just great still, and like, you know, playing your field spells and cool and everything, but it's like I think it's just dumb. Like it just not good for
It's
the game.
basically
It's not good for the health of the game.
Field spells have become immune spells that you can't get rid of. Like, no, you can get rid of them, but it's
terrible.
But it's like it's a different archetype. Like, by the way, are hand traps still better than regular traps, or did that change?
Right now, right now, field spells is in kind of like field spell. Hand traps in kind of like a weird, interesting position right now because of the Ishizu stuff. They're just not really as useful. It's weird to explain. It just
people don't still.
They're not really that good.
People don't still run 3 Valor in every deck.
Not right now, no.
Well, watch it come back. Valor, if
it will come back. It's definitely will come back.
If you're watching this right now and Valor is on the cheap, like on the real cheap, buy it. Because that card is going to be...
It will come back. It will definitely come back. It's just... Right now, just hand traps are not really doing so hot. It just... There's really... It's kind of really weird to say that hand traps got power crept. It's so strange to say that.
Well,
that hand traps just got power crept in a way.
Well, you know that ship is going to flip, right?
Of course it will. But it's just such a strange feeling right now. It's just like saying, huh, these cards got power crept. That's so strange.
I never thought I'd see the day. I didn't.
Same.
So, like I was saying before, what I've been doing was recently I've been watching on Twitch Farfa. You know who Farfa is, right?
I know.
So he's been playing a fair bit of Master Duels, and he's just pretty good at it. What can I say?
I mean, I don't hate Farfa, I just don't really like the energy surrounding some people.
Oh no! I'm not in his community. I just turn it on and watch it because I just think it's fun. It's good times watching the gameplay of Master Duels. I don't touch anything else that he does. I don't type in his chat. You know, I don't participate. I'm just just enjoying the game for what it is.
I'm just a lonely person who just watches games. I don't know.
No, but sometimes after work, you know, you just want to chill and you just want to turn something on. And
Farfa and chill.
You know what? Yeah, why not? Why not? Guys, the guy streams all the time.
I'm going to say this, and it's not like cynical or anything. I'm just got tired of the Yu-Gi-Oh community recently. I hear what you're saying. Tired of them so much.
It's not that you got tired of the Yu-Gi-Oh community. You got tired of the Yu-Gi-Oh.
No. I got tired of the Yu-Gi-Oh community.
No,
there are some people who just like annoys.
No. That's not what I'm saying. You got tired of the Yu-Gi-Oh community in addition to getting tired of where the game is going. It's a combination of the two, and I've been there.
Yeah.
But going back to talking about these games, so greed, and I want to say a little bit of anger from the creators of the games, because a lot of the creators of the games, they feel like they always have to outdo themselves, and they're always thinking, why aren't people stoked on the new cards? Why aren't people stoked on the new cards? People aren't stoked on the new cards because they're not original. You're not doing something new. You're just power creeping. Power creeping is nothing new. Like if I created a card, let's say, what's a stupid card?
Scale Drain is a good monkey flip card. Also, do you know what Macrocosmos does?
No.
And Dimensional Shifter.
Dimensional Shifter. Dimensional Shifter. I think you've used on me.
Yes, there's Dimensional Shifter. Their Dimensional Fisher, and their Macrocosmos, which all of these cards are right now, because of the ban list, are now available at 3.
That's how much?
There are 3 right now. I just
$3?
I'm sorry. You can play them at 3. I'm drove insane by this format. Let's just say that.
They need to. I think
so frustrating to play this format.
I think they need to start seriously considering creating rotations. Like
absolutely, it's became absolute freaking nightmare.
And you know what? You know what I think would be fair rotations for Yu-Gi-Oh?
You can do something really cool that is called legacy format, like actually playing with the older cards that people like, and then do an actual healthy competitive.
You don't even
format.
have to call it. You can call it the original format, which would be which would consist of, let's say, everything from base set all the way to the end of the GX era. I don't
Fair
remember
enough.
every single set, but basically that, and then pretty much create everything from the past 10 years will be in one format. 10 years is a long time. There's a lot of sets in 10 years. Am I wrong?
Yeah, but I don't think that's a good idea. I do think like it should be 5 or even 3. And I know it sounds weird to say 3, but 3 is basically a time of an era in Yu-Gi-Oh! And if you're doing the last 3 sets, you basically just keep the game kind of healthy.
Yeah.
In a way that like the same power creep.
How many sets do you get a year?
Same.
How many sets do you get a year? Like 7?
4 core sets and then a lot of side stuff.
Okay. So let's just say you get on average 7 to 8 sets a year, right?
More, but sure.
No, 4 main with like 3 or 4 side sets. Is that wrong?
A lot of sets that we're getting, which is also just a cool thing that they can consider doing once they do rotation, is that basically, and also maybe they will consider rotation in the next, like there are some kind of like coming news that maybe they're going to be a new master duel or something, but regardless, point is, we're getting 4 core sets, few like holiday sets, some reprint set, and most of the time even like with our summer sets / additional sets or, you know, holiday sets, there's also like a bunch of like new cards, but also reprints. So if they would have caught those and called these mini sets, I would say we also have like about 6 mini sets in a year and also some structure decks, basically.
Yeah, so in Pokemon we get every 3 months we get, okay, we also get 4 main sets, but we also get like, I want to say 3 side sets ish. Yeah, 3 side sets and like you know, a bunch of boxes over the year, you know? So we're sitting pretty. Like we really are. And something that Pokemon does like a lot better than every other TCG, and this includes the boxes. We have like theme boxes where basically they take a card and they put it at front, and let's say it costs $29.99, and it comes with like let's say it comes with Zacian V, which let's just say Zacian V, because right now it's not good, but like 2 plus years ago that was like the card. Then, you know, it came with Zacian V and it came with 4 packs, right? So for $29.99, 4 packs, or let's say 4 each, 16.
Okay.
If like this would keep the prices for cards, you know, not too terrible, because let's say somebody says no, it's a rare card, you can't get it. I'll be like, no, I can just buy the box for $29.99. I'm not going to pay your stupid $40 a piece when I can get it for let's see, 4 packs.
Right.
4 packs is $16. They come with with $50 codes inside. That's already value of $18. It comes with a $5 code card that you can redeem online, right? That's already $23. You're buying the card for basically $7. You know what I mean? And
kind of, yeah.
And let me tell you something: $7 for like one of the most important cards that you're going to need for like 70% of the decks that you're going to want to play is pretty good. Like we're talking about like the height of the height. If Yu-Gi-Oh did that, they'd be able to double all of their earnings, and they'd be able to keep the community happy because that now people have options, you know?
Yeah, I guess.
Because that nobody in their goddamn mind wants to pay $400. Nobody even is going to pay $400 just for the chance to get one card.
Nope.
Like, another thing they need to remember in Pokemon that's... I don't know if they do this in Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic. I haven't been keeping up as well. When a set comes out, for the first, 2 weeks, it is not legal for tournaments.
Interesting, because for us, it doesn't really work that way.
The moment it comes out...
It's very interesting.
The moment it comes out, it's fair game?
Yep. Unfortunately.
So for us, there's a 2 week period grace where nobody can play it in tournaments, not online.
Nobody what?
No, nobody can play the new cards online, or and you can't play them. They're not legal for tournaments, and they're not legal. And I'll explain to you why a lot of places do this stuff. Like, a lot also don't. Like, there's this one guy, Andrew Mahone, big guy in the Pokemon scene. He's like the biggest content creator in Pokemon at the moment, I think, for Pokemon TCG. I mean, he sometimes has these 1K that he's a sponsor. He's a sponsor, so he can decide the rules. But a lot of places, the sponsor is Pokemon. Like, Pokemon sponsors a lot of tournaments. Like, a lot of tournaments are sponsored by Pokemon, and they get to control how people are going to be playing in it. And
this episode is sponsored by Pokemon.
Oh, if only. I've actually had some first-hand, talking with a lot of people in the higher-ups in Pokemon. And let me tell you something, they care. They don't actually know me. Like, we've talked online. We haven't spoken face to face, but they tell me a lot of the stuff on the back doors that a lot of people don't know. And I'm not going to reveal any of it. But
that's fair, because you're not supposed to reveal any of it. Otherwise, you're going to Poke jail.
I'm not going to say names. I'm not going to say anything like that. But there's one thing I can promise you: these people care. They don't just put in the money. They don't just put in the hours. They also they take to heart when people say that they don't like their stuff. They scrapped an entire update just because people said that it looked ugly and it would not bring in new players. Because here's the biggest difference between Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Magic. You ready for it?
Sure.
Pokemon is bringing in young players. Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic are not.
Pokemon brings young players, but Yu-Gi-Oh brings young players in the OCG, but the OCG is not the TCG, so I see what you mean.
People are buying Pokemon products because we have tournaments every week. We had a tournament last week, LAIC. We're having another tournament in Toronto this week.
They're doing a really good job also in the anime and everything and all that stuff. And it's just
I think Yu-Gi-Oh is
Pokemon is a known brand.
No, Yu-Gi-Oh is doing a banger job with their IP as well. The game is the TCG, the Yu-Gi-Oh TCG is a banger of a game. The anime is not that bad. You just have to... in all honesty, God, somebody needs to cut out the cringe, and it's really good. You cut out...
5D is still the best.
You cut out 30%. After 5Ds, 30% of episodes are instantly cringe. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, Zexal.
I'll say this...
Zexal and 5Ds were not 5Ds. Arc 5 were Zexal was, in my opinion, terrible. Some people love it. I think it's terrible.
I think it's cringe.
Then there's Arc V, which just was good at the start.
I think it was
had
cringe.
A really promising stance.
I thought it was cringe also.
Arc V?
Yeah. I thought
Arc V started well.
Okay, I'll say this. Arc V had a good premise, but it went cringe real fast. And
why? Because of the problem that I told you. Yu-Gi-Oh has 3 years set things, or should I say master rules and eras. And because of that, like the anime didn't really give enough time to breathe because they needed to finish this in 3 years. Then came a gem of a series which a lot of people don't really talk about, and that is Yu-Gi-Oh! Brains, which started not the best.
It ended well.
But not bad.
It actually ended well. I watched a recap of
Brains is amazing. Brains is amazing. A lot of people just don't really appreciate it. Brains is amazing.
Yeah.
In my opinion, at least.
No.
Brains, in my opinion, is absolutely amazing.
I saw a recap of Brains. I forget by who, but the recap basically said the first 30 episodes are unwatchable. The rest of it is amazing.
I wouldn't say that. I don't agree with that. The first 30 episodes are important. There's 3 of them that you don't need to watch. I think 3 or something like that you don't need to watch because I think they're recaps because they had a lot of problems in productions during that time because I think they're also kind of like planned to move studios because they, after Yu-Gi-Oh! Brains, they basically moved to a different studio. I don't know. It just had a little bit of things in the background that I don't really aware of, and maybe I'm just mumbling weird things I don't really know. Point is, they had a lot of issues, so I can't really judge them for that. And still, the show, like, the first season wasn't bad. It wasn't, like, amazing. It wasn't bad. But after, or should I say, the first part. But when we got to, the latter half of season 1 and then in season 2, it was absolutely amazing. And I don't remember which episode that is. There is one particular episode that just people remember so fondly because it just was absolutely a banger of an episode.
I still rank my my Yu-Gi-Oh! By GX being my number 1, 5Ds being number 2, and the original being like my
fair
thing.
with GX, even though I do think GX is a lot not like for me it's not one of the higher ones. But
okay, did you watch it in English or in Japanese?
Japanese.
Good.
I still think it wasn't number 1 for me. I still think 5Ds is number 1.
They're very close to me. For me, they're very close.
Yeah. I think that the top 3, the original 3 are just definitely very, very close. But I would say Brains is really just for time to time, just for me, just becomes number 2. I don't know how to explain that to you, but Brains is really good.
You have to be into it.
Appreciate it.
You have to be into it.
It's really good.
You know what? For you, I will give it a chance.
I wouldn't, maybe it's not breaking into the top 3, but I do think it's definitely the 4th. It can't be lower than that.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a different problem that does not tie well the sets that come out in the TCG with the anime. It just does not do that well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can say it does, but it sometimes takes years for it to print cards that they made in the anime, into the TCG, and they're like, oh yeah, we decided to finally print it, and it's not going to do exactly what it did in the show, but it's going to have the exact same name.
Oh god, I remember these particular things. It's so dumb.
How many cards like that do you know? How many cards like that do you know that they existed in the show and it took them 10 years till they decided to print it?
The elephant, for example, it was over 10 years, but whatever. There's also some other stuff of that nature. Like there are many things.
It's a problem. It's a problem that Yu-Gi-Oh does that Pokemon does not do. The problem is it does not tie all of its IPs well. It really doesn't. It doesn't.
Not really. Not particularly, no.
And this is why the Pokemon anime is super duper popular. Everything that Pokemon touches is super duper popular. Everything, because
Pokemon did a really, really good job with its continuity as an overall, even more than
ties everything together.
They had brains, basically, yeah.
They tie everything together. The people who run Yu-Gi-Oh! Have a good game that they just don't know how to tie to the show, because
I would say the moment that 5Ds ended and Takahashi, bless his soul in heaven, which I'm so happy to hear that he was a hero. He basically was a hero. He tried to save lives. But point is after 5Ds, or at least the first half in 5Ds when he left after the Dark Signer arc, I think that's where he left the show or let somebody else take over. Basically,
it got cringe.
I wouldn't say the series changed to cringe or something of that nature, but it just changed. Let's just say that. It changed.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say, again, cringe, because I don't think it's cringe-worthy to be cold, but it did change.
Yeah,
basically.
but ever since then, I've been like more, more actively, not since 5Ds, but let's say around since
And that's a
2015.
shame.
What show was
That's
going
a
on?
shame that the second half of 5Ds have so many issues because let's just say even though it has so many issues, the second half of 5Ds has some of the best duels in the entire series.
I will say this:
by far,
my favorite duel in all of Yu-Gi-Oh anime is in 5Ds.
Which one?
The one when he's in the prison.
Oh, the Iron Chain guy.
Yeah,
It's a great duel. It's not one of my top duels, but
you have to admit it's a memorable duel.
I do love specifically a lot of like the duels in the final like arc that they didn't bring to the English, like for kids. But those particular ones being the Bruno one with Yusei and the Axel thing. Then we also had the so-called one with Leo that finally becomes his own person, which is also pretty cool. And then we also had the one with Akiza and Crow, which was also pretty nice as well. Like there were a lot of ones, and also the last one was just really good. Like final thing. Also after that, there was the Jack Atlas one with Yusei, which was also absolutely amazing duel. I love that duel. It's just a great duel, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like there are a lot of like really, really good duels in 5Ds. So a lot of people just don't really know that.
In 5Ds? No, 5D is nothing but cool duels. That's like, from my perspective, that's their thing. Like, okay, it's not the only thing. I think the backstory of 5Ds triumphs GX and the original show tenfolds, because the story of 5Ds, it makes sense to a degree. Like, it's a story that like you're like, okay, this is anime, and GX is basically shonen trash. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. GX is shonen trash. My God, when he has a what's it called again? Super bond with Yubel. Oh my God.
It's so weird. It's cool, but it's weird.
It's like it's shonen trash. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like what happens to what's his name in 5Ds? He's like nothing. Like he gets a symbol and he loses a symbol.
Yusei had a pretty interesting journey. Let's just say that a lot of the characters, and I would say this, and a lot of people probably could roast me for this, but I do think Jack Atlas is a much more interesting rival than Kaiba, and I love Kaiba. Don't get me wrong, I love Kaiba, but Jack Atlas is so much more interesting to me.
That's a hot take. That's a hot take. That's a hot take.
No. I'm not saying that Kaiba is worse, okay? I'm not saying that Kaiba is worse. It's still amazing. The Kaiba TCG, TCG, the English actor for Kaiba basically just made the entire kind of character and kind of like pushed it for for a lot of things.
You know who else he voices? The guy who voices Kaiba.
Little Karibo?
No, the guy who voices Kaiba in the anime. In the English.
Which one?
The guy who voices Kaiba in the anime.
Oh, Brock.
Yeah, I was ready for you.
You're talking about Brock.
Yeah, he also voices.
Jellyfield donuts are my favorite.
Everybody loves Brock. Brock is such a great character.
Such a fun name.
Yeah, no. But speaking of which, I wanted to ask something. How exactly? I think you have a bit of an idea. Who sponsors the prizes for Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments? Official Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments? Is it Konami?
I think it's Konami, yeah.
And from what I understood, do they give money or do they give packs? I think I heard they give packs.
They give packs. It's more like they give packs, OTS packs or something of that nature, but yeah. Also, you're dodging the topic because you don't want to talk about this hot take of mine, I guess, of the Kaiba being, in my opinion, the second one. Don't get me wrong. Kaiba's great.
Okay.
Absolutely great.
Okay.
Love that guy.
Okay. Everything about Kaiba is very selfish, which is very anime-like. Okay. Everything about Atlas.
I love Kaiba.
Everything about Atlas. I'm sorry. It's all about how crazier can I get.
I wouldn't say that, but that's such an interesting thing because Jack Atlas originally came from nothing. It's not like Kaiba, which is such more interesting thing in my opinion. But I could see the reason why people
Wait.
like,
Wait, wasn't
Kaiba more.
wasn't
Don't get me wrong.
Kaiba wait, wasn't Kaiba the one who was adopted, or was it his brother?
Yeah, but Kaiba just had a company. Okay?
Yeah, so
Jack Atlas literally come from the satellite. That means that they're just a bunch of like very poor people. Don't get me wrong. They're both come from not really
yeah, I watched
wealthy
the show. I watched
places,
the show. I watched the show.
But Kaiba comes from a place that is a little bit better, let's be honest.
No. Kaiba ended in a place that was a lot better. He didn't start he started poor.
Oh, yeah.
He started poor. He just
Yeah.
he just ended owning what was it called again? Mirage. What was the name of Kaiba Corp?
Kaiba Corp.
No, it had an original name beforehand.
No, it was Kaiba Corp originally because it was under Gazaburu Kaiba. So.
Wait, no. I'm thinking about Illusion.
Illusion things for Pegasus.
Yeah, I got mixed up. It's been,
That's completely fine.
Yeah,
it happens.
It always drives me crazy that Pegasus in the original show is 24 years old.
Yeah, it's crazy. And also, in the original manga, he died.
Yeah, because what do you think the Shadow Realm is?
No, it's not the Shadow Realm. It's Bakura killed him.
Yeah. Bakura's crazy. No,
Bakura took his eye and killed him. And it's kind of crazy to me that, like, it's one of, like, I think the story flaws for me always, but I still absolutely love it, that, like, when Bakura took his eye, just Pegasus doesn't say anything for anybody and just telling them, oh, Bakura is crazy. Keep an eye on this guy. maybe there is a solution for that maybe Bakura made him forget because, he has some mind powers and everything, but it's still kind of weird that it didn't really get explained in the show. At least they could have said, like, oh, hey, Bakura just made him forget. Like, Bakura could have said, and now you will not remember me or something of that nature.
If only Yu-Gi-Oh had the same money as Kaiba, am I right?
Yep.
Because
but let's be honest, Kaiba basically made the show.
No, because you know how much money Pokemon as a company throws into prizing in our regular tournaments.
How much?
Like just a regular one.
A lot of Kaiba money.
I think it's like $1,000 for like first place. Like just on a regular one, not like on this big one. Just on a regular one.
Wow.
On like our big ones, like our ICs, our international championships, I think they get like 5K, which is crazy to me for first place. And like it's like something crazy like that. They're getting like, and not only that, you also get championship points, which is you need in order to participate in Worlds. And if you have enough championship points, then you can skip day 1 of Worlds and you go straight to day 2 because Worlds.
Day 2. Yeah.
Because Worlds is at us is I think 3 days or 4 days, something like that. It's a lot of days, and only the best of the best get to be there, and only the top of your region get something called travel awards, which is basically you get to travel there, I think, for free or something like that. It's something crazy like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that they don't cover is the actual event. And this is why we have tournament organizers, we call them TOs, and they decide the price for how much each person is going to pay to get in, right? And it used to be free.
Right.
Like when it started, it was free, but then it became,
but
$10, $20, and now it's like almost $80 because of inflation.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like they're not being greedy. They're just saying this is how much it costs to run the event. We're not taking it out of our own pockets. This money is not going to prizing. This is just covering the event, and every single time they run an event, it's sold out. You know how much people? You know how many people show up?
How many?
Easily over 1,500 people.
Damn, that's a lot.
No. And this isn't like every once in a while. This is like every other week. You get like two or three events a month.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's something. Okay, maybe that's a bit of an over exaggeration, but the point stands. It's like we get 2 events. We get 2 events a month, and those events have in them like good money pricing. It comes with packs as well. It comes with a special card that gets like, it's like for ICs come with cards, regular tournaments don't.
Okay.
And it's just a huge community, and this is why I say that the Pokemon community as a player base is just as big, if not bigger than any other. It's just as big as Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic. Magic has a bigger community of people watching it online than participating. That's just the truth. And then you see all of these kids growing up. Like we have every single tournament that we run, we have a juniors, seniors, and masters. Juniors is for anybody from like age of like 4 to like I want to say 13. And then from 13 to 18, you're in juniors, and then from 18 and on, you're in seniors, right? Masters, I mean.
Yeah, masters.
Yeah, juniors, seniors, masters, and the juniors are always like, we have every single time there's a event, a tournament, there's like over 200 little kids coming. Kids, not like teenagers, kids whose parents are paying $70 per event.
Damn.
And this is and the truth is like, Pokemon cards keeps its value quite well, because we know that all the cards from the previous set are still going to be viable in the next set, and we don't have to pay like a ton of money to get the new cards. That's just something that I believe that needs to be replicated by every other event. They need to start looking at what Pokemon is doing. I'm not saying copy the game. I'm saying copy the business model. If Yu-Gi-Oh was copying the business model of Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh would kill us. We both know this too.
Really?
Yu-Gi-Oh is a much better game. Like, as a game itself, it's a little bit better. I'm being, I'm a Pokemon guy, and I'm being very, very unbiased right now.
Interesting.
I think that if Yu-Gi-Oh copied what Pokemon was doing, they'd be seeing just about the same amount of sales as Pokemon, but they'd be gaining the next generation. And this is where Pokemon is going to outshine Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic combined, which is why I believe that unless they do something to get the next generation, Pokemon is going to take over. Do you agree with it?
Absolutely. Absolutely, I think Pokemon is just going to take over.
Which is
just happening right now.
Because a lot of people are just buying Pokemon cards just for the sake of having Pokemon cards, and they realize, oh, I don't have what to do with 1 million copies of the new Lugia V-Star. I have my 2 that I like. I'll just take it to the store and sell it to them. Trade it in for packs. You're getting new packs. You think that you're getting a deal, right? But the people who run the store know, oh, Lugia V-Star is worth $25. I'll give them 2 packs. 2 packs is worth 8.
Companies just, I'm going to say this, people just don't really need to be greedy with cards, or companies just don't need to be greedy with cards, and they're still going to earn the same amount of money, if not more.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
If they do that
how many cards are in a pack of Yu-Gi-Oh? I think it was 8.
Depend on the pack.
Okay, of a 9. 9, okay.
7.
Oh,
5.
Okay, 9.
4.
How many of those 9 cards are usually usable?
Not a whole lot of them.
Okay, so in Pokemon,
commons are most of the time are common trash. Like you need just 3 copies of them, and you just get enough of these, and you just
in Pokemon it's 4 copies. In Pokemon it's 4 copies. But what Pokemon does better is that they make a lot of usable cards that are good in the common and uncommon slots. That's just something that they do. Like, they don't make you have to buy a million. Like, you can buy a booster box for $120, let's say, which is it's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, trust me, you're getting your money's worth. And that you're basically getting, for $120 when a set drops, you're getting all the cards that you need, and then you just basically need to buy another 8 to 10 cards that are closer to like 15 cards overall that's worth altogether around, let's say, another $150. $270 on average. You see people completing everything that they need for a competitive from the new set.
Wow.
And that's if you're going like overboard. Like, do you see that in Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yu-Gi-Oh, you need to spend so much more money if you want to play competitive.
How much would you need to spend with every new set drop?
Depend on the sets, because like I told you, there are some particular frustrating sets that start dropping since October, and I'm just like, I don't have the pocket money for this.
Okay.
I need to pay for so many things.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
The Bestial Engine, the Casteria La card, what is it called? The Ishizu card. Like, there's so many things, and it's just like, no, I just don't care.
And that's just something that if it only cost you $270, okay, $270 to pay for everything, and you're like splurging. You're splurging. This is you splurging. $270 is you splurging. Not splurging, you could probably get away with $150.
A year?
No, not a year. Not a year. Like every set. Let's say a year would be closer to $600 a year maximum.
It's still a lot, but it's a lot better than currently in Yu-Gi-Oh. It's still a lot.
In Yu-Gi-Oh, I watched Team APS. Like, there was a guy who like did a breakdown a couple of years ago, and he was like, a new set drops, I need to drop $500 for the bare minimum. And I was like, $500? And he was like, in my mind, that...
No. Some people also like to go overboard because they want the highest rarity cards that nobody really cares about. But if you're talking about Darkwing Blast, oh yeah, you need to drop like about $500 at the very least to even just get like some of the basic cards. It's been annoying.
Yeah, I have a friend who plays Magic. Maybe I'll ask him one day if he can join us, because we're not doing like the best job of representing Magic. But
I mean, we never really played the game, so that's only fair.
I have right here.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have right here in like hand's reach a Green's Planeswalkers deck when I used to play a little bit. I thought Green's Planeswalkers was pretty neat. It was fun, at least for me. I know that people like to crap all over about the entire Planeswalkers era. Everybody likes to say no, it was bad. I thought it was pretty alright. It got me to play a little bit. I played a little bit of Green. I played a little bit of I think Red's Planeswalkers as well. It was good fun. But
what is fun? What the hell are you talking about? What the hell is fun?
Fun is basically immersing yourself into a game. Like, part of the reason why I love the Pokemon TCG is because it feels to me more real, like a much more real experience for a Pokemon battle than VGC Pokemon battles are. You know what I mean?
No.
Okay, so you know how you play online with like Pokemon versus Pokemon, and they're always hitting. Like there's no like there's no chance. There's no like my Lucario is tired. He can't attack you, or he's missing. So in Pokemon, it's all about chance. It's all about like drawing the right card and seeing if you're able to get your Pokemon to attack or not.
But I'm hoping it's not like super RNG fiesta, because
in Pokemon, no. That's why.
There is one card game that I want to talk about that is a little bit of RNG fiesta. I think you know which one I mean.
I think I do, but no. Before we get there, I just want to.
It's not as bad.
I just want to say this is why Pokemon hasn't a lot of like draw and a lot of search and stuff like that, because it gives you the best chance to be able to attack, and you're trying to like work your hardest to get your Pokemon to attack. And that's what I love about that. And it feels to me like I'm playing like I'm battling a real, 6v6 Pokemon game. That I'm getting my Lucario. My Lucario, I've trained it to be able to use the special V-Star move. And I just need to, I need to power it up with energy. Oh, I don't have enough energy. I need to, drop research, draw 7, hope I get an energy to attach an attack. It's that kind of stuff that like really gets that really makes me love Pokemon, which is why I always said that the Pokemon TCG is not even remotely similar to the Yu-Gi-Oh TCG or the Magic TCG, because that it emulates a different game.
Okay.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Go on. What TCG do you think is very much RNG factored? RNG is a big factor.
I think it's the most popular mobile game when it comes to card games, and it started with an H. I wonder which one is
H. Let me think. Heaven's Feel?
Heaven's Feel is the name of a show, dude.
Oh, you're right. H. Kyoga Neji?
No.
H.
You're getting closer. HEARTHSTONE.
Oh, Digimon. Good call.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
But anyway, the one we're talking about is Hearthstone, obviously.
Oh, yeah. We're always... I'm never going to have anything bad to say about Hearthstone. Like, I have a lot of bad things to say about Blizzard as a company, but not about Hearthstone.
Yeah.
Not about Hearthstone.
Hearthstone is just... I'm going to say this. Most of the time, just a lot of people like to say bad things about the game, but like the developers are not the one to blame because they create a really fun game. The one to blame is the company that just like asked them to implement these particular things. They're not the one to actually do that. They need to make their salary, obviously, but they're not the one to blame for that. So, yeah.
Yeah. So,
anyway...
I think we've talked enough about our grievances with all of the TCGs, because we do like to talk about other things, but every once in a while we are going to throw on you like a TCG based podcast, because we are, in the end of the day, also very big players in the TCG, And next week there's not going to be a episode, because that myself and Unfit here, we've come to the conclusion that for us to be able to juggle life and juggle the podcast as well, which we are very passionate about. We've come to the...
It's more passionate. Yeah. I'm just going to add this, sorry to cut you off. It's so passionate for me that I just don't care about my own channel, which honestly I also said why I don't really care about Yu-Gi-Oh right now, but I do care about this particular podcast a lot more than I care than the rest of my YouTube stuff, even though I can upload this on my YouTube channel and maybe actually get more views and essentially monetization, but that's beside the point. Anyway, continue on.
So we've decided, we've come to the realization that it's just a lot more doable for us to do it twice every 3 weeks. Like, the cycle is going to be 2 weeks yes, 1 week no. So next week, there's unfortunately not going to be a podcast episode. We are not sorry about that, because
should be sorry.
If we can,
it's our podcast.
No. If we can do this full time, we would.
Obviously, but it's also resources and doing full time. Yeah, obviously, if we could, we'd do it.
But until the day that we can do this full time, and when we can do this full time, we will let you know. We will let you know.
We will?
Yeah, well, we can do this full time. What do you think? I'd rather be coding all day, or do you think I'd rather be editing all day? You tell me.
Do you think I would do half of the things that I do if I could just make money out of YouTube, like in a high level? Like, a lot of people think that there are some people who just have a really, really easy time and it's super easy. It's not easy.
No.
You need to do a lot of things around and maybe even just take out of your own money out to actually just earn money, because a lot of people don't know, or maybe don't care about it, that they're actually getting verified or known by other people because they actually just take cash out of their pocket, give it to people who essentially, just say their name and shout them out, or able to build connections and just spend a lot of time with that. And it's just that's not our main job, and we don't really have a whole lot of time to actually spend on this. So,
No.
yeah, let's just say that.
So until then, do you wanna finish you wanna finish this up?
I mean, the only thing I would add specifically is the normal thing that we like to add, that if you want to see more of us, you can follow the Unfit crew here if you want to see more of the podcast. My own channel, like I said, I'm not really uploading at the moment because I have so many things out my plate right now. Hopefully pretty soon, maybe I will be able to upload like maybe a video, or do at least once a month, at least a video, because I at least want to do that. And then you can follow our friend here, which is dragonunharm on YouTube, and I believe also Twitch, right?
Yeah, I've been trying to do Twitch. The problem with doing Twitch, I'm gonna say this real quick, is that they don't prioritize. Like, I know I have a good connection. They don't have good connection.
They don't prioritize small creators.
They don't prioritize small creators as much as they say that they like. As much as they like to say, "Oh, we prioritize small creators." I tried. I even went out of my way to make sure
they like money.
They do like money, but
everybody likes money.
I like money too.
No. It just everybody likes money. It makes sense.
Yeah. So, like Unfit here said, if you want to follow us. All of our links will be down below. We've been trying to branch out the podcast, and once we are able to branch out the podcast even further than what we can, we will let you know. And that's going to be it. Bye-bye.
See you all next time.
See you next time. See ya, Yugi boy.
See you, Pokeboy, or Ash Boy, or whatever you want to call it. Ash. Yeah, let's go with that. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.